trying to work on my intro, right? So a couple of days ago, actually yesterday, not even a couple of days ago, I found this video, and it speaks about nothing changes if nothing changes, and meaning that if nothing changes inside of you, nothing is going to change, right? And it starts the first part of the video starts using a clip from one of my favorite movies of all time, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, right? Voiced by George Clooney, the most silkiest voice in Hollywood. But in any case, I'm getting ahead of myself. But he goes on to say that I don't want to live in a hole anymore. It makes me feel poor. To which his wife retorts, "But we are poor. But we have love, right?" And that's a big thing. That's important, right? Love surpasses everything. We know that. Like, it's the most important thing. If you don't have love, you could have everything in the world, but if you're not loved, you don't have someone to love, to bestow love upon. Because a lot of us think that it's all just about getting love. No. There's also the beauty that comes with being able to pour out love on somebody else, be it a child, be it a partner, be it an absolute stranger, right? But also do it nicely. Don't be weird. Don't be a creep. You'll go to jail for that. And he goes on to say, he speaks about how his father died at a certain age, and he's almost that age, and he died in a hole, and he says, "I don't want to live in a hole anymore, and I'm going to do something about it." And he says, "I'm going to do that because the views are better above ground." And I remember that part just stuck with me. The views are better above ground. If you're going to watch the movie, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, you'll find out that he goes through hell, basically, to get to above ground. But the views are better above ground. And I think the views can be the above ground, your ground maybe, or where you are getting above ground. You may be trying to get above a mental health issue, right? You may be trying to get above a financial issue or a relationship issue. We don't know. We all have an above ground as in relation to where we are right now, right? Mine is above ground is getting back to my own space, getting back my own car, getting healthier. I've shared with you guys several times just some of the stuff that I'm working towards. And the funny thing is, you work through them. Like, they don't go away then you get above ground. No, you work through them to get above ground. And I just wanted to encourage you guys, no matter how ridiculous your above ground, the view that you're going for above ground sounds, go for it. And the craziest thing is that first he starts off the scheme, right? And he recruits one person. And by the end of the whole thing, there's a whole community that is involved in his scheme. Like, it goes sideways at some point, right? Proper pear-shaped, right? But that's the power of when somebody reaches for their above ground to get a better view on life. Because a lot of us, sometimes what we're looking at, our view of life is just terrible. It's demeaning, it's discouraging, it's just disheartening, it's defeating you every single day that you look at it. And you may need to change your view, right? You may need to go above ground. And I mean, he cooks up all kinds of schemes, man, to get there. And here's the thing, to us it looks crazy, but to him it makes absolute sense. And that's, some of us have never been lost in the madness and the crazy of trying to get above ground because we're too scared of what everybody else is going to do. Listen, you cannot script how people are going to react to you trying to get a better view above ground. I'm sorry, but that's part of the journey. You're going to look crazy. In fact, you need to become crazy. Think of everything that's around you right now. Everything, the world that you know right now, all of it was built by somebody else, right? They're not these demigods that somehow were, gifted the ability to change their view and to be above ground, and you don't. We all have it. You just need to choose what your above ground looks like and then pay the price, right? Pay the price. But I really loved when he said, the views are better above ground, and I'm going to do something about it. Like, that part, I'm going to do something about it. I think a lot of us are still waiting for some magical superhero to shop in our lives and be like, I'm here to give you the life that you wanted. And I know some of you actually think that's going to happen because, like, oh, I'm pretty. Like, he's going to come and he's going to change my life. No, he's not. You're going to live in somebody else's dream. That's just the thing, but I digress. But I'm just saying, I'm going to put it out there. Those of you who are thinking, oh, I'm just waiting for the perfect guy, and when he gets there, he's going to be a billionaire or a millionaire, and then I'm going to have the ultimate life. And that may necessarily happen for some people, but you also don't know the premium that person is paying in order to have what seemingly is a good life, because that above ground view is on somebody else's dime, and that means they get to call the shots. But it's another thing when you're above ground, is on your dime and your sweat and your tears, right? Nobody can tell you how to do it. But in any case, the views are better above ground, I promise you. But you need to be brave enough to actually reach for above ground. I don't want to die in a hole. It makes me feel poor. And I'm going to do something about it. That's exactly what he said. And some of you need to decide the hole that you're in right now. I don't want to die here. I don't want to die here. On this Friday, dare I say that, indulge yourself, right? Just indulge yourself in the luxury of what would above ground look like for you? Like, what would the view look like for you above ground? Write it down. Actually, write it. I can tell you, for instance, the next above ground for me, and I'm so scared, but I'm gonna do it in any case, because if it doesn't work, I'm gonna laugh at myself. But 12 months from now, ideally, right? Above ground for me looks like I am in Joburg. I literally have it down, guys, to the point where I know how much my rent more or less would be, because I actually went and looked at the apartment online that I want to stay in. I worked out how much my food would be, how much, petrol wise, like in terms of transport, investments, how I would dress. Like, I broke it down to an amount. I actually have a workable amount in my head. I can tell you right now, you can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, I know how much you need for you to stay in Joburg where you want to stay and have the life that you want. And I tell you, this is the figure. This is how much I need, right? So I'm also, there's a sneeze that wants to happen but does not want to happen. So if you see my face a little bit, I'm not mean mugging. There's a sneeze that's just playing havoc. But in any case, that is my above ground for now. Oh, we're not editing this out. But in any case, I did to look at what my above ground looks like to imagine, to dream. Like, it's for free, guys. Dreams are free, right? It's the work ethic and the work and the hard push that's not free. But to actually visualize it, to see it, like, when was the last time you sat down and be like, what does my above ground view look like? Because all you see for some of you is the office that you're driving to that you hate. I don't, by the way. I have an amazing working environment. Shout out to everybody that's in the academic support unit. Y'all know yourselves. Best crew in the world. But that's what my above ground looks like. Like, I know what it looks like, but do you know what it looks like? I can promise you the views are better above ground. If you're stuck in a hole, you don't want to die in a hole, and that hole is making you feel poor in terms of mental health, and poor in terms of happiness, of joy, or even financially. You gotta do something about it. I promise you, the views are better above ground. Don't die in your hole. Love you guys.
I don't want to live in a hole anymore. It makes me feel poor.
We are poor, but we're happy.
Come see, come sa. Anyway, the views are better above ground. Honey, I'm 7 non-Fox years old now. My father died at 7.5. I don't want to live in a hole anymore. And I'm going to do something about it.